Recording in progress. 1 second, y'all. And let me go to my Facebook page and edit post. And I'm gonna back up. B-Smoove. Let me do highlight. That's a new thing, that highlight thing. I guess it reaches everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Highlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been seeing that.
Mm.
I ain't never used it yet though, but I gotta use it.
Yeah, because if you see it, like when you go on Facebook, it'll say, like someone just went live and then highlight all the audience.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It does catch. You're right, because I'll be getting them highlights on my page, and I'm like, man, how you get everybody from press saying
Right,
highlight?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are live on Facebook. You know, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be tuning in. I tagged you, so it should be live on your page. It's a whole different thing
Oh, okay.
when I was doing it back in the days, family. So
Yeah.
you guys, I have my brother. Everybody known as B-Smoove, right? Y'all used to come to the parties back in the days that he used to throw cat biz parties and stuff. But we're gonna learn
Hey.
all about B-Smoove tonight. Not all about, because there's some things about my brother y'all can't know. But anyhow, so man, family, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just
Thank you.
want to kind of, get this out. Now, if everybody remembers Mervin's that used to be on Florin and Franklin, right? I
Mm-hmm.
was in there years ago, right? And this brother was up in there with the chain on. He had his chain on and stuff, right? And I had the video show going on back in the days and stuff. And I remember I approached him and I forgot what I said, but I think I asked him, did he do music or what did he do and stuff? And he was like, yeah, I do music, blah, 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 right? And ever since then, ever since Mervin's on Florin and
Yep.
Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
me and
Yes.
B-Smoove have been locked in
Like
ever
in.
since then.
Sure.
Man, do you remember that
Of course, like yesterday.
day?
You know what I mean? For real. It's, you was
Yeah,
doing your thing. You was definitely, paving the way for Sacramento in your own right. You feel me? There wasn't nobody doing video shows like you and, giving people that exposure. So people like yourself, man, help pave the way, you know what I mean, for people like myself, just opening up visions and different opportunities. So thank you, Alita, for, giving Sacramento a light and a life of, from the visual side of things, to
yeah.
be able to exploit their videos and stuff like that. So, you was a pioneer too. So don't discredit or try to downplay, you're a pioneer and a pillar out here in the city of Sac too. So, salute to you. But yes, definitely, definitely.
Oh man, well, thank you, brother, man. And thank you for just being humble that day, because you could have been cocky and somebody, just full of it and stuff. But what you are, what you still are, very humble and stuff. So speaking of that, now your name is Michael, right?
Yeah.
Mike. All right. So what was Michael like in from kindergarten to sixth grade?
Oh, wow. Okay. Let me see. I mean, to be honest, like as much as I can remember back then, like I just feel like I was a kid that was like artistic in a way. Like I used to draw a lot. You know, I would be at church with my mom, and I'd be in the back of the pews, and I'd be like drawing. You feel me? So I think I just came from a creative space. You know what I'm saying? I got two great parents. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my father. But I have two great parents that they both are like, they're different, but they're alike in their own right, which I think gives me the certain type of synergy. You know what I mean? they both, have great spirits and, positive. So, that's what's instilled in me. But yeah, I think, just a little curious kid, but definitely use the right side of my brain, what I'm saying, a lot, being artistic a little bit.
Now, did you get into sports like some other people or?
Me, yeah, for sure. I didn't really. I played a little bit, like in Michigan, because that's where I was born or whatever and stuff. So it was like I didn't move to Cali to, like eighth grade, seventh grade. But I think I was playing. We had like basketball. Obviously, we used to play football in the street, but I never played in school. Um, and then, we had some weird thing of hockey at my middle school that I don't know how black people was playing hockey, but we was playing hockey. But it was different. It wasn't like wearing no ice. It was like just using the hockey stick. You know what I'm saying? So I was young then. I didn't know if it was just like a curriculum or what, but we kind of indulged in it a little bit. But yeah, I played basketball was my main sport that I played, especially when I moved to California, you
Mhm.
know.
You said that was eighth grade. So like, and from junior high through high school, what
Yeah.
was, Michael like?
Yeah. I was, I got A's in economics in art and English I was good at, math I was okay at, so as you see, woodcraft I was great at that, all the things that, architect, like that's the stuff that pushed me and I thrived in the subjects I thrived in, in school. So, I was just kind of like, I was good at the RC things, great in, debating, what I'm saying? I got like an A+ in that class. That was something
Debating
different for me. Huh?
and debating?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was
Yeah. So
what was it like when you moved from like Michigan to California? Was like, I know you was young, but girls were fast and stuff back then, especially eighth grade.
yeah.
Would the would the girls try to get at you? What was it, how were you fit, how was it moving from a whole different state, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was a shell shock for me, like coming from Michigan and moving to California. Like I ain't never seen, the culture, you feel me, of other people like that in Michigan. All we knew was black people. So, to
Mhm.
see, you know, white Americans and, Indians and Chinese and Asian people and Filipinos, all these different cultures, it was like, wow, what man, this is crazy. So I mean, it was dope to me to be able to, meet different cultures and everything, but in this at the same time, I just wasn't used to it. So I didn't know if that was something we were supposed to like integrate and, be cool and talk to these different cultures or how would people perceive us. But, I ended up learning a lot, I mean, from different cultures, but girls, it was just kind of like a normal thing, girls like you and but I was a shy kid. I was low key. I was a introvert a little bit when I first moved out here just because I didn't know the city and I was new to everything. So I was trying to learn people and how people moved out here. I'm very observant. So I'm more of a sit back in the cut and watch how things moving. And then I find my way and figure out, how to maneuver around, you know what I'm saying? But I don't just jump out in the middle of the street, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to be like, yeah, I got this, you know what I'm saying, into a new environment. Now I'm more like I'm analytical about things and then I make my approach. But I was kind of low key for a while until I did, finally meet, someone that I was interested in.
Okay. So when did the music bug hit you?
Music hit me, to be honest with you, like every time I would go back home to Michigan, like one of my big cousins, Jimmy, call him J Jump. He used to like always like put me on the new songs, and he would be singing like Da Ha, rapping Duke, and just different songs when I came back to Michigan and stuff on
Mm.
this for the summers. And it just I remember hearing LL, I'm bad, and I literally wrote that whole song down with my cousin Tina. I was rewinding the video, rewinding it word for word till I learned that song. And I just remember like being inspired by that because I wanted to know everything he was saying. So that was like, I think a light switch for me, like, man, this something right, something about this, I'm intrigued by. So, then in high school in California, me and two other guys, we formed a group called Funky Diagnosis. If y'all from Sac and y'all, was back around that time, y'all know about us, Funky Diagnosis. And then I created the Rat Pack with along with another one of my friends named Smash. So we was like the core, in Sacramento at that time, along with a couple other groups, the Socialistics and what I'm saying? We brought, Doey Rock, aka John Doe, rest in peace, my boy King Kahali, what I'm saying, part of the Rat Pack. And, we was like a West Coast Wu-Tang, basically. That's what my man Tyree Supreme was kind of trying to do with us, you know what I'm saying? And I was just one of the artists that was part of the Rat Pack.
Oh, wow, wow. Okay. So now how old so when you so LL was the one you was listening to. Was there anybody else who influenced you?
Yeah, yeah. There was just different records I would hear that I would be like, oh, that's dope. But I'm just saying LL was like that spark, that one
Yeah.
song that you hear that make you be like, you know what I'm saying? He's the first artist that made me write down the whole lyrics of his whole song that he wrote. You know what I mean? After that, I used to get into the Eric B. and Rakims, of course, and then Nas, certain music I really didn't know until I moved to the West Coast, because only in Michigan they only play certain styles of music and you're only gonna be exposed to so much. So when I came to the West Coast, I was exposed to the Too Shorts, the Snoops, like everything. You feel me? But back home it was only a certain sector of music we got. You feel me? But yeah, when I came to Cali, it was like, man, oh, this is it. But I was inspired by a lot of different artists. You know what I'm saying? As I grew in the industry. But I just formed my style listening to certain people, like I said, the LLs and the Nas, then Pac, obviously, so yeah, yeah, Scarface, Jay Z's, you know what I'm saying? Just the average, you know what I'm saying? The Too Shorts, the Snoops, the Ice Cubes.
Mhm.
Man, come on. DOC was a big inspiration for me too, to be honest.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
Yeah, that's why people could never understand like where I was from, because they was like, "Man, you don't sound just like no West Coast rapper." You know what I mean? And you got lyrics. So people used to always be like, "You from Oakland? Where you from? You from Oakland?" And it used to trip me out a little bit, but my style was just something that people couldn't pinpoint. That's what kind of made me different.
Now, where were you when you first hit the stage the first time, and how did you feel?
Oh, wow. Damn. Damn, damn. Oh shit. What was
And
my
you
first show? Yeah, leader, I done did so many
I
shows.
know, I know. That's why I was like, let's see if he remembers.
That is crazy. To be honest, I think it go back to the 916. Oh no, no. So as the Funky Diagnosis, we used to do shows. We used to travel and do shows from Sacramento to San Jose to, I was literally with the Wu-Tang when they went and did Cream on Arsenio Hall show. Me and my man Travis, you know what I mean, which is
Wow.
Delirious. He was one of the producers for the Rat Pack. But
Uh,
yeah, me and him, we actually went, to the Arsenio Hall show and we was with, Wu-Tang when they did Cream at the on our Arsenio Hall show. But my first show, I mean, I know it was with the Funky Diagnosis as a
mhm,
group, you know what I mean? So, we going back, you know what I'm saying, a minute. You feel me? So I remember we used to do like these clubs and then we used to do like these outside, like shows and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I can't remember exactly where it was, but I know Jose was like in the top maybe 5 shows that I did when we
uh,
did a show in San Jose that was super, super dope.
and
You
you,
feel
how
me?
did you feel up on that stage and you was looking out?
Man, I was lit up. I was lit. Like I was taking off my shirt. I'm like, when it
What?
comes to shows, when it comes to the showmanship, I'm like, I'm all in. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I ain't no Buster Rhymes, I would say, but I'm just somebody where like when I'm on stage, I'm a different person. I'm really B-Smoove for sure. Like I just love to entertain, you feel me? And I don't think average, you know what I'm saying, when I'm trying to perform. I'm trying to make sure I give people something to remember me by, like, damn, that boy B-Smoove like did something special, you feel me?
Now, speaking of that, how did the name B-Smoove come about?
You doing good. You getting all the goods right now. Okay, I see. You gonna definitely resell this.
Ah,
Nah, B-Smoove it came from, so like when I moved to California, I used to dance. Like back then we used to go to a little club, like right there off of Garfield. We used to go to little different clubs and I used to dance a little bit. Me and my cousin episode, we used to dance and we used to help choreograph Club Nouveau dance when they went on Apollo. Like we helped choreograph that. We used to help a lot of people just when it came to dancing and stuff. And then we had the group. I don't know if you remember Tomorrow's Answer. So that was Ebro, my boy Brian Favors,
Yeah.
my boy Phil. He used to sing in church, and then my boy Episode, and then it was me. And
Uh-huh.
we used to all be in a singing group or whatever, but I was more of the dancer in the singing group. You feel me? But um my cousin Jamel, one day he was like, I was like, man, I was trying to come up with my rap name, and I was like, I think I was like, yeah, Smooth, because I was like, man, yeah, I'm smooth. And he was like, no, but you gotta be smooth. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Right, you gotta be smooth. And then I remember he was like, you gotta come up with an acronym for smooth, you know what I'm saying? And so we at the house one day and we just, thinking and writing and stuff, trying to figure out some what it could mean. And he was like, smooth Mike out on versions everywhere. I was like, bruh, you is wild. Like, how you just come up with that? I'm like, man, I don't want that stigma. So I ain't never told nobody what that meant or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
my goodness.
yeah, Be Smooth came from that, like, yeah, Be Smooth. He was like, you can't just be smooth, you gotta be smooth. So I want to shout out to my cousin, man. He helped me put that together.
Oh my God. Hey,
Yeah.
Erica Field says, hey, hey, B. Erica,
Oh, tell Erica what's up. What's up, Erica? What's up?
hey,
Good people,
Letitia.
good
I,
peoples, good peoples.
I love Erica. I had her on too. She got such an amazing, story, her life and stuff too, So
Yeah, for real.
shouts
Yeah,
out to
she's
my girl
definitely
E.
a
I love her to
motivator.
death.
Yeah, for real. She doing her thing, big
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, all right. So you done did, we talked about you doing the rap and stuff, right? How you
yeah.
got your name. Now, how did promotion, because I ain't gonna lie, Smooth, I missed your parties, okay? We had so much fun,
I know.
So
Man, I know. Me too.
okay, so let's back up before the promoting.
Okay.
How did Cat Biz come through? How did all that? Because we can't forget
So,
about that part.
no, for sure. I mean, Cat Biz, salute to all my Cat Biz members out there, man. Cat Biz came basically like I was traveling one day doing a show somewhere and I was just like, man, I was just thinking, I'm like, and this is how I really been feeling for a long time, long time. I was like, if like if we could get this was a big outlook just to give you all this how this came to me. I was thinking like because I didn't like the way the music was going a little bit. It started getting a little, ratchet and just people just, like mental health, like
Mhm.
depression, suicidal to me. So I was like in my mind, I'm like, if the top people in the rap industry, say the top 20 artists, if they all came together and, start, showing the world that, we ain't beefing with each other. We all work with each other. We all trying to make music and it ain't no what y'all think the statistic is the stereotype about, rap artists and stuff. Everybody beefing with each other. I said the industry could be different. It could create a new wave. And so I was like, man, when I get the sack, I'm going to call up the top 10, 15, 20 rappers that I know and I respect in the city and I'm gonna try to sit everybody down together and try to formulate this thing called the capitalist. And so when I came back to SAC, sure enough, I did. I reached out to everybody you could think of. And I ain't got to drop all names, but
Yeah.
anybody that was doing music in that industry, you know what I'm saying? I reached out to them, and we talking like 2000, I don't know, probably like 2003, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around there. I reached out to everybody and I'm like, look, man, I got this idea, man. I want us all to get together, woo, 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 and let's break the energy that everybody thinks Sack is on. Everybody thinks Sack don't like each other. Every rapper don't support each other. Everybody beefing or somebody don't like this person. I'm like, man, let's all get together, man, and let's create something different.
Mhm.
So, a few people hit me back, you know what I'm saying? And, basically, some people was like, they had other things going on where they couldn't really do it or whatever. And some was like, man, I'm with it 100%. So the ones who was 100%, them the ones that came to the table, and we all built together. You know what I'm saying? We created Cat Biz out of that, and it was all basically to empower Sacramento, which was what we did. You feel me? And to create a stream for us to be able to like get a name out in the city, and we can do it by empowering each other. It ain't nobody in front of nobody. Nobody's bigger than the next man. We just all together. So when one move, everybody move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's even much needed right now, you know what I mean? You know, um,
Yeah,
and it's not only like SAC is really everywhere. The music's just changed so much, and the way that they shooting the videos and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
whole different ball game right now. You know, look at
yeah,
me. Remember, I was always behind the camera. I said I
yeah,
could interview you. Now I send
yeah,
a Zoom link out and we go live on Facebook. You know,
man,
yeah,
man,
it's crazy
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, for real. No,
Yeah.
I mean it was just a time where I just felt like this was needed, man. And we made a mark in SAC. You feel me? And
Hmm.
that's what helped create Smooth Nights. I just had to get
My
creative with
goodness.
my I had a platform, I had a voice, I had leverage and status and everything, and I was doing my thing, and I had a group of guys around me that was supporting each other, and we
Mhm.
was all like, man, we got to do something right and something that can help, what I'm saying, the city out.
Right, right. So you got into, and that's where the promotion and stuff, came in, promoting the
Yeah.
parties, and
Yeah.
everything. And you guys also did songs together, right?
Oh, of course. Like
Yeah.
we have, man, we got so many records. Like
Mhm.
we got a lot of dope music. You feel me?
Yeah.
Hopefully we can all get together and try to get this stuff out, man. But we got a lot of dope music that we kind of slept on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need a Cat Biz reunion party.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, I
We
mean,
would.
I created the soundtrack. I did the soundtrack, which was dope. Um, but yeah, the definitely Smooth Nights, that was just something for the city, man. Once again, something for the city, something to put on. And remember at that time, they was trying to make it to where you couldn't go in no club if you ain't having no hard bottoms and no button ups,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's why it was another inspiration for me to create Smooth Nights, because I knew I can create uh, a market space for the people that just wanted to dress regular. You know what I'm saying? And just basically make sure that we can kind of control the environment to a point to where it wasn't gonna be no violence, and everybody can, come out and have fun without somebody ego getting in the way and messing this up for us to just enjoy each other. I'm like, look, I'm just like y'all. I don't want to wear no suit and tie to go to no club. So look, we got to create our own. And
Mhm.
then, through that, I also created Hip Hop Honors. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the biggest shows Sacramento have ever
Mhm.
seen when it came to hip hop.
Wow. Wow. Talk about the hip hop honors. What was like, you know,
I mean, that was like just the ultimate right to me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else felt the same way at the time, because it was just like, you know, when I had that idea of like everybody picking a legend that they love, and just you're gonna basically do that record. You're gonna do a rendition of it. You feel me? And
mhm.
we had people from like everybody in the city was out there for that. You know what I mean? The T Nutties, the Lick, Big Mans, Cat Biz, Swift. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, Prince, like just the whole team. J. Ali, shoot, Gatlin, like his squad, you know what I'm saying, his people, like Celsius, like everybody you could think of, like it's so many people, man. I can't even remember everybody, but it was just
Yeah.
like everybody in the city that was rapping. Look, we had Marvelous there, then my girl Tavia, like it was like crazy, like it was just crazy. If you was there, then you know what I'm saying. I have that tape, so I'm actually trying to put this documentary together right now of all the stuff I done did. But yeah, hip hop honors like that right there was something different. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
just realized a lot of the people, especially, man, we got a legend watching right now, Sir Charles Thurman. Hey, Sir Charles. Man, Sir Charles is watching.
Oh, so Sir Charles watching? Oh, that's
Not
my
Sir,
OG.
St. Charles. St. Charles.
Oh
I
yeah, St.
said
Charles.
Sir
Yeah,
Charles.
St. Charles.
I'm
That's
sorry, St. Charles. I'm sorry.
Hey, triple OG right there, man. What up? What up? We done
Man,
talked a couple times, man. Trying to make some things happen back in the days, man. So yeah,
man,
definitely respected
I
OG.
I got to get St. Charles on most definitely because he's like one of the big legends. Most definitely St. Charles. I gotta book you too. But I just was realizing when you was naming all the people, I met so many of them through you. You know what I mean? At the park, at the events and stuff. And and that's another thing I want to say. Your events, I've never remembered anything crazy going on. They was always good. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
stuff.
no, for real. That's why, Smooth Nights. It was the name to create the aura for us to just enjoy the night, right? Everybody get home safe.
Mhm.
Everybody come out, enjoy a good time, mingle, network, meet your mate, whatever it is, and just have fun and go home at peace. You feel me? Smooth Nights. So that's something, I stood on, and I had good people around me to help promote that. So, you
Mhm.
know, shout out to Sacramento for just really keeping that going for 8 years. You know what I'm saying? 8+ years for sure. So that was big.
Man. So, man, so that's the history with Sacramento, y'all. Man, but let me tell y'all, let's just go ahead and move on to the next phase. Man, you how you know you network so well. You know what I mean? You got pictures with people like way like hot, how do you say it? Major people, right? Because
Hmm.
you network, right?
Yeah.
How,
Yeah.
what is your, you don't have to give your full secret, but how did you really start getting out there and networking to meet with the top stars and stuff? You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, I think it all starts with confidence. You know, I remember there was a point in time in my life where I just was kind of like, I used to go to events, Alita, literally, I used to go to events and I would literally be standing across from some big celebrity. And this is when I'm on the come up. Like, I got a couple good records out, but I ain't no major star. So I'm, you know, still thinking that, my ego was in the way a little bit. And I'm like, oh man, they should know who I am. You feel me? I'm B-Smoove. And it was like a couple times I was across from these major stars, and I'm sitting here like keeping everything to myself, like, man, they better know who I am. I'm the big star too on the come up.
Did you
And
have
I
the
would
chain
not,
on? You have that chain on?
yeah, I have my chain on. Yep.
Uh,
But the problem was I let that get in my way because I was thinking that somebody should know who I am, right? Because I knew who I was and my confidence was that big. I didn't network with these people. And then later on, I was like, damn, I missed the opportunity. So I did that shit probably like maybe about 3 times, 2 or 3 times. And something told me like, you can't want this if you ain't gonna network because you don't know which one gonna be your opportunity. So from that moment on, every time I went somewhere, that's exactly your answer of how I became what I am. Because I took that moment in that lesson and I said, I'll never do that again. And so every time I went out, did a show or went somewhere, trust me, I'm up there dapping people. What's up, man? I'm B-Smoove. Oh shit. Damn.
Ooh, where'd you go? Okay. One second. We lost the camera. Hold on, you guys. He'll be right back. One second. I'm not sure what just happened to Smooth. Is he mute? No, he's not mute. One second, y'all. This is 1 second. Let's see what happens. Anyhow, let me shoot him a text. Okay. So he should be getting back on. Boy, don't you just love technology, y'all? Maybe he was losing his charger. I mean his thing. So hold on, y'all. This is a lesson. When you schedule interviews with me, make sure your phone is all the way charged. So, 1 second. Yeah, I think his phone died, y'all. So, not sure what's going to happen with this interview. I'm going to wait a few more minutes and then he must be trying to find a charger. I think that's why he was moving. Mrs. So, let's see. All right. So I guess the interview might just be over. We may have to do like we did with Big Omeezy, do a part 2 and come back. All right. So stay tuned for part 2. It may be later on tonight or it may be another day. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.